Wow. Wow. That's all I can really say. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and it's the Philly Tall Podcast. Listen, I already dropped the video recapping my thoughts on the Packers, talked about the newest stud for the Eagles, Jalen Phillips, broke it down with Brian Baldinger film. A lot in that video. If you didn't watch it, when you're done watching this, go check my latest video out. It should pop up at the end of this anyways. It ain't going to be long. But breaking news, just in. Now, Jay Glazer was the first one to report it, but there's some twist to it. So we want to navigate it all together. I am reacting with you guys. But my sports update said just in, Eagles cornerback Jaire Alexander has informed the team he is stepping away from football to focus on getting himself right physically and mentally, per Jay Glazer. Now, my sport update lets us know, for anybody who don't know, non-Eagle fans, the Eagles acquired Alexander from Baltimore before the trade deadline, and he never played for the Eagles. We know that. His first game available would have been against the Packers, but he stayed home. He didn't travel to Lambeau, to Green Bay with the Eagles. But the update at that time was the Eagles are letting him stay home to rest physically and mentally and continue to get acclimated with the playbook so he's ready later on. That was the story out of Philadelphia. Now we got this, that he's stepping away from the team to get right physically and mentally. The crazy thing is, if it's a mental health situation, then he got to do what he got to do. We just saw a Cowboys player end it. So he got to do what's best for him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But he was just at a press conference saying he's the healthiest he's been. He's ready to go. He said he's 28 years old and he's up next. He credited what the Eagles got as it pertains to young DBs. But he said he's still up. He was super excited about the opportunity. He said he was up, felt better than he ever felt before. The news that he wasn't traveling caught me off guard. But this is even crazier. Again, if it's something he got to do up here, then I'm all okay with it. But it's like, bro, Zadarius Smith retires on us out of nowhere. Now, granted, hindsight 2020, if Zadarius Smith don't retire, maybe BG and Jalen Phillips ain't here. Jalen Phillips probably still here. So I'm cool with Zadarius Smith retiring. Everything happens for a reason type We got BG, Nolan Smith, and Jalen Phillips since that. Now, Nolan was always going to come back. We just had to wait for injury. But Danny Rusani has a different spin to this story. A different spin to the story. Diana. She has a little bit of a different spin. She's talking about contemplating, I can't even speak, retirement. So Diana Rusani says Eagles cornerback Jaire Alexander has informed the team he is stepping away from the team to focus on getting right physically and mentally, per source. The 28-year-old is contemplating retirement. So he said she's saying retirement. But when I look at just everything going on real quick, Mike Garofalo says the same thing that Jay Glazer said. It's stepping away from football to get right physically and mentally. Alexander will then decide on his future. So it is not set in stone that he don't want to play for the Eagles. Like, he's not saying he's done with football. He is stepping away. That is factual. After he steps away for however long it is, a week, 2 weeks, a month, come playoff time, his focus will be on getting right up here, getting that knee right, and then he will let the team who has the rights to him via the trade, he'll let us know what he decides for his future. My thing is, if he does decide to retire, do we get the pick back? If he said, boom, I'm done, for whatever reasons, it could be for mental health reasons. So I'm not mad at him. I'm upset that I was hyped for a little bit. Ain't there some fine line in? Because remember, Howie Roseman said they had a long talk with the player and with the Ravens. If Howie's on the phone with the Ravens, discussing everything, on the phone with Jaire, discussing everything, you ain't decided to bring it up that you might think about retiring and or stepping away from the team, that could have impacted what Howie would have done or did not do. Where's the rule book when you need it? If you get a guy traded to you and then he just quits, retires, what's the rule on that? Especially, again, things can creep up. Nobody knew that the Cowboys person was suffering. So I ain't mad if it's because of that. But I can only take the words that came out of his mouth, which was, I'm as healthy as I've ever been. I'm super excited for this opportunity. The trade's been in the works for a while. He came to practice for multiple days, a couple days. Dan said, again, if it's mental health, he needs to get that help. But he was doing interviews and saying he was ready to go. Something tells me he wasn't good enough to be on the field, and it made his choice. That's the weird thing, because if it was the Eagles' choice, like the Eagles had their conversations with Baltimore, had their conversations with him, brought him in, and just saw that he wasn't ready. I just don't understand it then. If he realized he wasn't ready, I think, the Eagles will win about it the way we did about anybody, inactive, this, and a third. Like, I don't know. So we will find out more for sure. But the way they're labeling it is that he's walking away or stepping away from the team to get right physically and mentally. Alexander will then decide on his future. I wonder what's going on with the pick, though. This is a shocker to me. Let's see what some of our beat writers are saying. Shout out to Mike Fripps. Clicked on it by accident. Let's see what some of our beat writers are saying. I saw Zach Berman say something. So Diana Rossani now is saying this. She's told that Jaire is contemplating retirement, but for now is stepping away to think through his next steps. Sources tell me and at Mike Silver, the Eagles have kept conversations private over the last few days. This all started from Jay Glazer when Jay Glazer got told. This was the okay. Go say. This was the original tweet. The original tweet that started it all. Former Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander has decided to step away from football to try to focus on getting himself right physically and mentally before deciding on his future. Alexander informed the Eagles on his decision today. NFL Fox has learned, and people are going off of Jay Glazer's tweet. But I want to just see what Zach Berman said. He speaks about the same stuff we did. Alexander expressed excitement last week about coming to Philadelphia and suggested he was healthier than he's had been since his surgery. Hold on. That's what made his absence in Green Bay curious. There was a thought that the Eagles wanted to give him a chance to get healthy and acclimate, although he didn't make health sound like an issue. So that's where I was. That's where I was initially when he stayed home from Green Bay, from traveling to Green Bay. I was under the impression that the Eagles see that he could use a little bit more time with his knee and could use time to get acclimated to the playbook. So when we give him his opportunity, he's either going to sink or swim. It ain't no more beating around the bush. Like, let him learn the defense fully. Cornerback is different than edge rusher, right? Let him learn it fully. Boom, you either in or out. But this is just a wild story. People were saying that Jaire not going to Lambeau or not going to Green Bay, they said is bringing him back to that Devin White situation. Devin White just couldn't play football no more. And the Eagles didn't sugarcoat it. So I don't know what the private conversations have been. And again, Howie Roseman said out of his mouth that he talked to the player, Jaire Alexander, and he talked to Baltimore for a while about everything that's going on in this situation. Like I said, if it's mental health, he got to do what he got to do. He got to do what's best for him. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm just saying, we don't know all the details, but it is shocking. Again, I said this in the beginning. I'm going to say it again. If it's mental health, he needs to step away. We just saw what happened to one athlete who was 24 years old. Jaire's only 28. Jack Dwight with a $5 super chat. In my opinion, same as Adarius. Got notification of a drug test and knew he would fail. Sheesh. That's some high speculation there going on. Knew he would fail drug test and just dipped out. I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. Jack Dwight's always going to give us interesting takes. Let me just say this, though. Hit the like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing, and it's greatly appreciated. It's the easiest thing that you can do to help out content creators. This situation shocked me. I reacted. We only been live for 11 minutes, now 12 minutes. And I literally did all my reacting live to y'all. I seen this, and by the time I seen it, I made a thumbnail. I tried to shut my brain on autopilot so I didn't even think about what I was going to say, and then just reacted with y'all. And again, if it is mental health, he needs to get help. But he's stepping away from the team to get right, I guess, physically, mentally. He said he was good physically. Hopefully, it's not just mentally. Also, if you didn't watch my video, again, we're doing free giveaways, free entry giveaways in the video. So make sure you go check out that video when I'm done being live. If you didn't watch the recap / Jalen Phillips film breakdown from Baldy and whatnot, if you didn't watch my video I dropped around 4:30, 5 o'clock, go check it out. Okay, go eat them. I told you, nice. Go eat the goldfish. The snack that smiles back. Anyways, in the video, there's a chance to get free entries. Everybody can get free entries as long as you do what is necessary in that video. But go check that video out. It should pop up at the end of this. Might pop up on the top right there. Or just go to my channel, go to videos, and click the last one. You'll see it. It has that boy Jalen Phillips on the cover. But back to this situation. Philly Case said, this is so bizarre. His interviews were encouraging. So how weird. That's the thing. And I don't feel like you can, again, mental health, the mental health aspect of this can sneak up on anybody. You know, maybe he thought he was ready for the opportunity at corner, was in the building, had some good vibes, but then something happened where he's like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. I don't know. Mind you, this was a dude, like, he had too much swag in Green Bay. Like, when he was in 2023 a top 100 player, I think he was voted at number 23, if I'm not mistaken. You should hear this man's interview. He's like, bro, I'm not just the number one corner in the league. I'm the number one player in the league. Everybody know that. Everybody know it. Like, that's just me. I am the best player. You're speaking to the best player in the National Football League. Like, he was that cocky. And then the injuries happen. Loses that he no matter how cocky you want to be, he getting beat in Green Bay. He go to the Ravens. He getting beat with the Ravens. They put it on health. He sits for a while. Now he goes to the Eagles, where he said he had to get acclimated. He wasn't even acclimated till playing until week 3 or 4. according to his Eagle presser. Maybe he thought he was acclimated, ran out. I don't know. But if it is mental health, he got to figure out what's best for him, for sure. The Eagles just locked down the Green Bay Packers with the defense we have. Was I excited for the opportunity to possibly get a 85% healthy Jaire Alexander who had the swag, who has that, playing with a better team? Again, the supporting cast for the Eagles is better than the supporting cast for the Ravens. They were ranked 28th in total defense, even with him not playing. Rimo said we got a F over the Ravens next chance we get. I mean, at this point, I just don't know what's happening with that pick. And again, Howie Roseman is too smart to not have deep conversations with not just Jaire, but also the Ravens. King said AJ Brown embarrassed him. Nah, AJ Brown called him his son, but literally laughed it off and said, "This is how we joke." And Jaire Alexander, to me, I believe, is a guy who talks like that, who probably tried to call AJ his son, and AJ was like, "Nah, bro, you my son. Remember what I did to you in Brazil?" He's like, "Yeah, let me hug it up. This ain't Brazil no more." You know, he a trash talker, so I don't think his feeling hurt get like that. I don't think his feelings will get hurt like that. Philly Misery said he didn't want to do special teams. That's why he didn't go to Green Bay. Maybe. I'm hoping that we can void the trade type stuff because that's the biggest thing now. We just, again, it wasn't much. It was a pick swap. So we got Jaire Alexander and a 7th, and the Ravens got a 6. So now we just switched the 6th to the 7th because it is what it is. Check on your teammates. AJ Brown's been telling you. We just saw the situation that happened in Dallas. 24-year-old kid. So if this has anything to do with mental health, as I said early in the show, I don't want to keep repeating myself. So when people come in new and talk about mental health and stuff, I agree with you. I just spoke on it a couple times. And if that's the case, he got to go for his own protection. But it caught me off guard. I'm going to see what comes out later on today. You know, I do videos almost every day, so we'll probably talk about it. If there's any new information about this, we'll touch on it more in tomorrow's video. Again, go check out the video I did earlier today. If you didn't watch it, there's a lot of information in there. Plus, I want to get your take on some of the stuff I talked about in there. How are you feeling about a win? Although it's an ugly win, all that. That's why I need your takes. Plus, for those who want free entries into the jersey giveaway on December 1st, there's an opportunity to get it just by watching the video and following the 3-step rule at like the 5-minute mark. Fifi said, what are the other options now? Well, the options that we had in Green Bay pretty much, which is Adoree Jackson, who actually played pretty darn good. Was he a lockdown corner in Quinyon Mitchell? No. But honestly, Cooper DeJean allowed more catches versus the Green Bay Packers than Adoree Jackson. But here's the thing. When Adoree Jackson does bad, we poo-poo on him right away because he doesn't got no grace with us. Cooper DeJean can have one game where he gets beat 3-4 times. We going to say, that's an anomaly. He don't get beat that much. So we going to shake it off to that ain't happening again. He'll figure it out. Anyways, Cooper DeJean is better than Adoree Jackson. I'm just saying it for that reasons. Adoree Jackson, which is our number one option right now, and he actually played decent in Green Bay. The next option is Jacorian Bennett. And his problem is he got to get off IR and stay off IR. Like Fangio has told us multiple times that he is high on JB, Jacorian Bennett, but he can't put him in the game if the dude is living on the bench. Living on IR. He keeps getting hurt. So right now, the only 3 options we have outside of our starting cornerback, Quinyon Mitchell, is Adoree Jackson, Jacorian Bennett, when and if he can get healthy, and the famous Keely Ringo, who showed us he can't do it. He just can't. The other option is you put Cooper DeJean outside and put Michael Carter II inside. GR said, bro, what the bleep? He was just saying he was ready to go. The bleep is going on with dudes leaving randomly. It's weird. I agree. Unless again, it's mental health issues that are popping up. I don't understand it. He was just so excited, so positive. And again, the report is the Eagles cornerback Jaire Alexander informed the team he is stepping away from the team to focus on getting right physically, mentally, per source, and he's low key contemplating retirement. But again, no decision is made. He wants to step away, see how he feels before he informs the Eagles if he's going to come back or not. Elia Johnson said, I listened to the presser, and I did notice this too. He didn't seem right. Lack of eye contact. He definitely showed a lack of eye contact for sure, but I went back and watched some of his other interviews. He's one of them guys who stay moving his head and talking like this. Know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be like, yo, and like I said, and if you watch his early Green Bay interviews, he was super cocky, super cocky. I like that in the corner, though. You need to be a dog at the corner position, but he was crazy. When he was playing around the top level cornerbacks in the league, he wasn't just saying he was the best corner. He said he was the best NFL player. And he's always talked like that. But I did notice that. Someone else said Deanna Rusani is not a reliable source. I know. I only brought hers up now because of where we're at with the thing. But it's confirmed. And she was going off of Jay Glazer. Jay Glazer was the person who officially did it. This is the official report. Former Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander has decided to step away from football to try to focus on getting himself right physically, mentally before deciding on his future. Alexander informed the Eagles of his decision today. NFL on Fox has learned. Everybody's been talking about it since that. But now you have Dianna Rusani with a little bit more. Also Mike Silver with a little bit more. Now you have what do you call it? Beat writers confirming it. Like John Clark said, sources confirmed. Like, where's the John Clark one? Here it is. John Clark, who covers our team. Now, again, this is my sports update, but he's saying everything that Jay Glazer said. So he just pretty much is taking Jay Glazer's words, retweeting it, but saying per Jay Glazer. John Clark says source confirms. So John Clark, who's in the know of the Eagles moves, called somebody who called somebody who called somebody, and he said source confirms the Eagles are working with Jaire Alexander as he steps away from the team, from football, to concentrate on getting his knee healthy and working on getting mentally right. So this is the best way to say it, because he is stepping away from the team, but the Eagles will continue to work on him, work with him, maybe check in on him. Maybe, hey, say, look, you're not practicing no more. Get your knee right. But take this little mini playbook. I don't know exactly the steps, but the exact confirmation from John Clark says, source confirms the Eagles are working with Jaire Alexander as he steps away from the team and from football to concentrate on getting his knee healthy and working on getting mentally right. Shout out to Jack Dwight with a $2 super chat. Love just played poorly. Nothing good about Adoree. I didn't say there was anything good about Adoree. I just said he held his own in that game. But I will agree with you that Jordan Love did not play good. There were a couple open Packer wide receivers running through our secondary. And again, I still got to watch the all 22. I watched a little bit of it today. I saw Reed getting beat. I saw Cooper getting beat. Adoree got beat too, but like it wasn't like every open person that Jordan Love just didn't hit was only on Adoree Jackson. Again, Adoree Jackson also shown he keeps getting nicked up too. Adoree Jackson is not my first pick at outside corner. I would, in a perfect world, Jaire would be trying for it. Jacorian Bennett would be healthy to try for it. But I'm taking Adoree over Keely Ringo at this moment, and maybe we end up exhausting the only other option, which is Cooper outside and Michael Carter the second inside. We'll find out. But yeah, you're right about that, Jack. Adoree wasn't doing. I'm not saying he was terrific in that game. Jordan Love definitely helped us, but he also helped us while targeting that Cooper, targeting that Reed, targeting that other people. Dory Jackson is trash. Like, but here's the thing. We can't event something. The trade deadline is gone. The trade, like when we say Kevin Patullo had a bad offensive game versus the Packers, I agree with y'all. When y'all say, dang, Patullo's really be trash. It was trash. I agree. Adoree could be trash. I agree. But you got to come to the realization that these are the guys on our team. We could have got another corner via the trade deadline. We got Michael Carter II and Jaire Alexander. So that the trades are done. Asante Samuels just signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad. Maybe if the Eagles knew this was going down, maybe they would have gave Asante Samuel Jr. a look, simply because we were one of the teams that were reading about him and thinking about him, but we didn't make a move because he wasn't fully healthy ready. He just got healthy a couple days ago. All I'm saying is Patullo might be trash, but he's going to be on the staff this year. He's not getting fired. Nick Sirianni is not going to fire him. We're either going to win the Super Bowl with him or lose and then fire him, but then waste a whole talented season of people on contract. Adoree Jackson, at this moment, while Jacorian Bennett is injured, is our best bet. I'm not happy about it. But when we could make a trade, there was room to think about things. But now we got to understand we're going into week 11. We're going into week 11. We gotta hope and pray the players get Patullo to be better or Patullo becomes better. But he's going to be here till the end of the season, good, bad, ugly, sad. And Adoree Jackson or Jacorian Bennett or Keely Ringo is going to be the quarter until the end of the season, unless Fangio is like, dang, they really, really trash. Cooper, go outside, and NC2, you stay inside. Jack with a $2 super chat. Eagles should sign Asante ASAP. He just signed he signed with the Steelers practice squad. Now, there are ways to take people off the practice squad, but I do think there's 2 or 3 positions on the practice squad where you are untouchable, or maybe there's only one position, but there is a way to try to keep someone on the practice squad and not let them leave. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to lie and tell y'all something I'm not sure on, but Sante did just sign with the Steelers practice squad. Maybe now the Steelers see that this is happening with Jaire. Maybe they just activate him to the roster right away because they don't want to lose him. But he did join the Steelers today, earlier today. There is somebody out there. And I've been speaking about him actually low-key on this channel a while. But now he's been sitting out a long time, and he's an older cat. Stephon Gilmore's out there. Now, I thought that Stephon Gilmore, coming off the 2024 season, playing for the Minnesota Vikings with a $7 million tag, still had a little bit of game left. I thought Stephon Gilmore, who played for the Vikings, was decent, and had a $7 million tag last year, wasn't worth $7 million. But I thought because we are a contender, we lost the leadership of Slay. I was always in the realm of I was always talking about something along the lines of bring Gilly in, which I wanted to bring him in earlier. I'm talking about that week 2, week 3. Week 2, week 3, I'm like, bring Gilly in. $3 million. he was saying that he wanted to play again this year. So I was talking about Gilly since week 2, 2 to 3 million on a contender as another option because we are in a situation that we put ourselves in. Hey, Joe, I did read your comment on my video, and I absolutely love it. I love it. I responded back to you, but I'll just tell you what I said. I said, you're right, man. With your age, you're definitely living your best life right now. And a lot of younger Eagle fans, I'm 34, I'm talking about my age or even younger, are spoiled because prior to 2017, the Eagles were on a 50-year drought of never winning a Super Bowl. So, yeah, we are spoiled, but, I'm with you. Like Joe said, Mike, everything in his perspective. If last night's game was a Super Bowl and we won it, no complaints about the offense. Just saying. You're right. If it was a Super Bowl and or a playoff game, doesn't matter. We are advancing. But we just got to make sure we're playing our best football when we get close to there. Pretty Mimi said, yes, you have, Mike. I thought we would have been gotten him. Yeah. DRZ said, bro, what is going on here? I'm going to say it once again for the people getting in here. But if you're just getting in here and I'm not exactly talking about the news, you can always scroll back to the very beginning where I spend the first 10 to 15 minutes of every stream. I solely talk about what's going on and give my take. Once we get 20, 30 minutes in, then I start talking to the chat and seeing what y'all say. So, but yes, first Darius, now Jaire Alexander. With that being said, I'm going to read it one more time because people are saying, wait, what happened, dog? Just in, Eagles cornerback Jaire Alexander has informed the team he is stepping away from football to focus on getting himself right physically and mentally, per Jay Glazer. The Eagles will be working with him as he steps away to concentrate getting his mental and physical better. No timetable. In the next couple days, Jaire Alexander will let us know his decision on if he's coming back to the Eagles or officially retiring. Now, we spoke in the beginning that all signs pointed to him being excited and healthy. He said his knee was the best it's ever been. He said it was bad in Baltimore because he rushed back low-key, didn't get acclimated, didn't have OTAs, didn't have training camp, and he ain't start feeling better until week 3 or 4. By then, he was benched. He said he was excited, said he was healthy. 3 days later, he needs to chill. I hope Howie kept the receipt too. I hope there's a way you can void the trade, make the trade go back. I don't even know. But again, it's not crazy big. It's a 6 and 7 swap. But still, it's wild. Bran Rainey said with a $2 super chat, do you think we can still repeat or win the NFC? Yes. Look, I watched every single game this season, just like y'all. I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen the second half of the Rams game. We look unstoppable. First half of the Bucks game, we look unstoppable. I've seen there's games where our defense looked unstoppable, a la last night. We still got 6 or 7 weeks. We got 7 or 8 more weeks, actually, until the season comes to an end and the top teams go to the playoffs. Right now, we are 7-2, number 1 in the NFC. There was going to be growing pains with Kevin Patullo. Even if he was doing better than he was now, you can't expect a first-time play caller to just go like that. This is also why I understand anybody who says, why give the keys to a Ferrari to a brand new 16-year-old driver? But because he's so new in the game, there's chances he can get worse the rest of the year. But there are chances he can get better because he's brand new. So you got to look at it like this. Personnel-wise, we are talented. chemistry-wise, they know each other. And if there's any team in the league right now that you got to say, oh no, something on your team is playing bad, can you find a way to win? It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles. We don't turn the ball over. We low-key take the ball away. Well, we at least are really good on third downs inside the red zone. And so that's why we were able to come back against the Rams. That's why we were able to sustain the win against the Bucs defensively and beat the Packers defensively. So the Lions are going to be tough if they're dropping 35 a game against us. The Rams are going to come with their A game the next time we play them. But there's no team in the NFC that I'm like, oh, automatically way better than us. No. But we have to be on our A game. But I do like the fact that when the Eagles defense needs to pick up the slack, it does. So far, the offense hasn't really picked up the slack, but I'm just banking on the talent, the players, and the fact that we still got a quarterback who did not look good for 3 quarters, but still clutches it up when it needs to be clutched up. With that being said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Again, if you're just getting in here, I'm about to end this. Just grab the little red arrow, swipe it back. You'll hear all my thoughts on what just transpired. You can comment in the comment section. I'll read your comments. But also, last but not least, go check out my video I dropped earlier today. It was around 4 or 5 o'clock, which is like 3 hours ago. We talk about the Packers. We talk about Jalen Phillips. We talk about the offense, everything about that. But we also give free entries to the jersey giveaway on December 1st. Watch that video. Do what you got to do, and you get a free entry. If you can't super chat on lives, go get the free entries. It's in the video I just did. I love y'all to death. Jaire Alexander, if you're retiring or leaving for mental health purposes, best to you. I just wanted to see you try with the Eagles. We not the Ravens. With the Eagles. I thought we could have got you right. Viper Reaps Corner with a $5 super chat. As a lifer Philly fan of 44 years, this is the golden age for us. I just don't want it wasted on people trying to figure it out. You right about that. In the last 8 years, we've been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2. For 50-something years, the Eagles couldn't even win a Super Bowl. In the last 8, we've been to 3, 1, 2. It's the golden age. But we have an open window, Viper. I absolutely agree with you. And because we have an open window, trusting in a first-time play caller, not the smartest thing to do. Not signing one of Slay or Rodgers and trying to just throw darts at the cornerback 2 spot, not the smartest thing to do. Trading for a guy we thought was going to be available, not the smartest thing to do. Last but not least, not going out there and getting a Denzel Ward or something like that. Would have been gutsy, but I wish something like that happened. All that being said, we still got the talent of the team. Once you get to the playoffs, it's a 1-game sample size. You win, you go. You lose, you go home. We know that. And right now, there might be some flashy teams like the Lions and the Rams, but no team wins better. Because if they did, they would have a better record than us and be in first place. We in first place. Last time I checked, we beat the Rams. Last time I checked, we beat the Packers, the Bucs. The only one left we got to beat, who we will be seeing again in the playoffs, is the Lions. If we go ahead and beat the Lions, that means the 4 teams are going to present a challenge to us. The Rams, the Lions, the Packers, the Bucs. We would have beaten them all. With that being said, if you're just getting in here, rewatch the live stream. Go check out the video I did earlier for a chance to get a free entry into the jersey. Leave your comments on that video too, because I love hearing from you. And I do want to know how you honestly feel about the game, good, bad, ugly, sad. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out. Peace.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.